Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Lucky Dip podcast. My name is Jordan, and every single week we hop on here, we talk for a little bit about esports or gaming, or we hang out with some friends, talk about business a little bit, or just tell stories and hang out for like 45 minutes, just depending on what's going on for the week. Sometimes we have guests on the podcast, sometimes it's just me, and this week is just going to be me talking on the podcast. And we're going to talk about a variety of topics just relating to money and creativity, not so much necessarily like gaming or esports. I've talked about that stuff before, but this week I kind of just want to focus on money when it relates to creativity, whether that's through podcasting or whether that's through YouTube videos or live streaming on Twitch, anything like that. Just to kind of talk about motivations and how it can be supplemental income and how much I've made off of it, and kind of just hoping that I can get more so I can actually like make an impact in a sense, just from a money standpoint, if that makes any sense. If you're new to the podcast, you can watch this live on my main YouTube channel, which is just my name, Jordan Brenda. Search that up and you'll be able to find it. It'll also be in the link in the description down below. If you're watching right now on my YouTube channel, thank you. Welcome back. Leave a comment down below if you're enjoying, and leave a like as well if you're liking what you're hearing and what you're seeing in the podcast. And you can also listen to this on any streaming platform. I use Anchor, so that sets you up for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even more that I don't even know about. And then also, clips from this will be put on to VerticalRoostr, which is my second channel, my gaming channel, and that's where we kind of just have some fun and mess around. So lots of places you can see the podcast, lots of places you can listen to the podcast. So with that said, let's get into some of these topics. I just have to pull it up on my phone, so give me 1 second here, guys. Because sometimes when I change screens, it like messes up the, what is it? No, I was going to say the audio. It messes up like the visuals sometimes for me, so I'm only going to pull it up when we actually are going to have a visual component to this. Actually, I'll preface that right now. Preface. I'll say that right now. So if you're listening, you might want to watch just the clip for this, because I'm going to go into like analytics and kind of literally show exactly how much I've made off of my YouTube channel in a little bit. So I will explain when that is, and then, you know, if you're listening right now and you kind of are interested in like seeing the numbers or seeing how it's broken down or anything, that the clip for that will be up on VerticalRoostr. Search it up on YouTube, one word, and no E in the rooster. I'll also probably put the link down below. So first thing that I kind of want to talk about today is actually going to hop right into it, which is just how much money I've made creatively. And that can be through photography, podcasting, YouTube videos, live streaming, gaming. Gaming not as much. Well, gaming kind of, I guess, is live streaming, but I meant more like esports, like the org, and through that, I've talked about that on this podcast countless times, but basically we haven't made any money from it besides the pitch that we did in April, which was $2,500, but like that wasn't like money that we made. Like Alex and I didn't make the money like ourselves, if that makes any sense. It's like business money, so it's a little different than money that like we actually get to put in our pockets. So it's not like our personal money, so that one doesn't really count. And nothing else that we've done on there has made any money besides Twitch, actually, because we are Twitch affiliates. So let me jump into Twitch and stuff first, then I'll talk about like my other ones with like YouTube and stuff. So on Twitch, I used to stream on my personal Twitch channel, which was VerticalRoostr, and that's kind of what I started doing. I had a lot of fun doing it, and then I just kind of lost interest, and it's really, really hard to like build an audience and to live stream, because nowadays like everybody's doing it, you know. Like when I was younger, and I'm talking like I was probably 13, 14, I always wanted to live stream. I always wanted to like, you know, put stuff up on Twitch and whatnot, but I didn't know how to like record my gameplay. It wasn't until I had my Xbox One that I figured out, and with Brenda actually, who was on the podcast last week, where we figured out that we can stream directly from our Xbox One to Twitch. We didn't need to have capture cards or anything fancy. And then once I got my PlayStation 4, we could also stream directly from the PlayStation 4, but then to make it look better and to have more stuff that you can do to it, customize it a bit more, that's when you have to download Streamlabs, OBS or any other software, and then you have to get a capture card so it can take stuff from your PlayStation into like your computer program and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is I want to do that for a while, but then once you kind of start doing it, I took so long to get into doing it that by the time I was into doing it, everybody is doing it. You know, if I would have got on earlier when I was younger, when not a lot of people were live streaming, I would have been a lot more successful. Probably would have actually made some money through that rather. But since I waited for so long and I didn't know how to figure it out until a couple of years ago, it was kind of like too late. Unless like you're really grinding or you're really really good at the game or just things like that. It's very hard to break into live streaming. Just if that was like your main source of income. The nice part about live streaming is once you live stream, you can take clips from that, put that on YouTube, put those on TikTok, put that on Twitter and whatnot. So it's like a way to really diversify your content. But just doing that is kind of exhausting sometimes. Still, once in a while, though, I will toss up the stream on my personal Twitch and just stream. Even though I don't get any viewers, but like I just take the clips and just upload them to YouTube and stuff, which is really nice. Okay, so now that part is out of the way, what I wanted to say is for Cryus. So with Cryus, since we broadcast our games when our team's playing or we do watch parties and stuff, we've only done like 1 or 2 like variety streams like where we're actually playing a game. Normally we're, you know, watching or hosting or doing something. So that one's grown a lot faster. That one we're already Twitch affiliates, and that means that we can start getting money. So I think in total we've probably made around $20 US. Of course, since we live in Canada, that conversion will be a little bit lower. So I'm gonna say we probably made around $15, and that's over like 3 or 4 streams, each of which are about an hour to 2 hours long. So I mean, not horrible, but also not the best. The hardest part with Twitch is like the main way you make money is like from people giving you money. They do have a little bit of ad integration into it, but you don't make much from those. It's also kind of hard to do because it's like, I don't know how it all works. All I know is that main way you get money through subscriptions, through donations, and through bits. So basically like you're relying directly on your audience, which is nice in the fact that they can directly support you, but then it's also more difficult because you have to get to the point where people will want to support you, and it can always be inconsistent. Like you can look at some Twitch streamers besides like the top ones like Nick Merckx and stuff who like constantly have 60,000 subscribers, which is insane to think about because the minimum subscription is $5 a month, or the free one even with Twitch Prime I still think you make $2.50. So regardless, he's making like 100,000 minimum per month, which is crazy just off of Twitch subscriptions. It doesn't include donations, it doesn't include bits, doesn't include ad revenue, doesn't include all of his YouTube stuff. So the guy's making bank. But unless you're like that, Twitch subscriptions tend to vary. So you can look at anybody and usually it'll fluctuate between, because every month, right, somebody might subscribe for 1 month and then the next month they don't because they can't afford it or they give it to somebody else. You know, you don't. That's the only tough part about Twitch is like you really only, unless you have a lot of money, you only really subscribe to like one person or give your free Twitch Prime subscription to one person, because I'm not going to be paying $400 a month to subscribe to like 10 of my favorite streamers and then gifting subscriptions and stuff. So that's like the difficult part about it, and it does fluctuate. So that's not like a main revenue source at all, but have made a little bit of money through Twitch. Not on my own personal stuff at all. I'm not even a Twitch affiliate on that yet, but on Cryus Gaming Twitch, we have made a little bit of money, but not that much. Now, from the podcast, this is going to get into more of my personal creative things that I've made money from. So podcasting, I made no money from. I've talked about this before, how Anchor is such a good platform, and they have great ways to monetize. They have really, really great ways for you to like make money, to say ads, to integrate ads into your podcast and stuff, but it's all just for American citizens. So I really hope that they open that up to North America even, you know, just open up to Canada, Mexico, like just give us a little bit of advantage, I guess you could say, because great platform all around. It's just for some reason, maybe, I don't know what the reason is, maybe it's to do something with taxes, maybe it's something to do with sponsorship deal, I don't know, maybe stuff's different here in Canada than it is in the States, but all I know is you cannot make money through Anchor just in Canada. That is also part of the reason why now I'm filming this, because I thought to myself, if I literally will make $0 from the podcast if I just put the audio up, right? Because I won't make any money from that unless I eventually get enough viewership, or listeners rather, on the podcast, where then I can reach out to sponsors and stuff, and then I can do those organically versus through Anchor. But at the starting point, it would be nice to go through Anchor just to do some ad reads and stuff and make like a little bit of money. It would be nothing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But basically I was going to make $0 just from audio. So I thought, well, the one way that I could make a tiny bit of money starting right now is if I record these and put them on YouTube just through ad revenue, through AdSense, and then, you know, if the audience grows a little bit more visually watching it, you know, if more people on YouTube watch it, then that's another way where I could get a sponsor. And then once the sponsor's in on the YouTube video, then obviously I would also say it goes out on all these audio platforms, so then it would, you know, it would just show like it's more than just YouTube, you know what I mean? Where people like view it and see the content, see the podcast. So as of right now, I've literally made no money from it, especially because I'll go into like YouTube in a second, like kind of explain like why I haven't really made that much, but I have made like a decent amount. I mean, it's a few $1,000s, but I'll explain that in a second. The next one that I usually do is photography. I've made 10 cents, 25 cents from it. I think that's it. The only way that I really was able to make any of that money, which is a quarter, is it was through, I forget what it's called now. It's basically where like you can put some photos up and then people can like download them or something, and when they do that you get like 10 cents. And I think the goal for that, it's like stock photos. I think like you put them up and they become stock photos, so then like people can use them, companies can use them. And I guess the way that you would make money from it is if like a company downloads it, and then they would download not just one but probably multiple, and then you can make a little bit of money and whatnot. But it's so hard to do. Plus then your photography, like if they're good photos, like I was putting up so many good photos and I was like, this is worth more than like 25 cents, or I don't need to sell it for anything, you know what I mean? Like I don't want other people to just have it and spend 10 cents to get my photos. Like you can just look at them if you want, but like don't. It was just felt weird, so I took all those down. No other way have I made any money off of photography. I also don't really do it that much anymore. I used to do a lot, and I don't know why I just kind of stopped. I mean, I just make videos and focus on gaming and stuff now instead of photography, but once in a while I'll pick it up and I still kind of remember what I was doing. But yeah, I made no money from that, so that's another thing that where it kind of sucks. Creatively you don't make a lot of money. But now let's get into YouTube, because YouTube is the one where I've made the most money, and it's also the one where I think I can continue to grow and make more money from it as supplemental income, which I'll go into after we kind of talk about how much I've made. So I'm gonna show you how much I've made. Then after that, I'm going to kind of explain why I'm frustrated with myself for YouTube content. So why I'm frustrated myself because I'm not consistent is basically the gist of it. But I'll go into that in a second. Right now, if you're listening on any listening platform and you want to see these numbers versus just me kind of explaining them, if you want to actually like visualize it, right now go to VerticalRoostr and check out the clip, because it'll be up there. It should be up there right now. If not, it'll be up there soon. So just subscribe and then you'll see it when it pops up. But anyways, right now let's switch screens here. And here we go. So you can see right away that in total, and this is, remember, I started monetizing probably around 2014. Okay, so June is probably around June or July. July of 2014 is when I had monetization enabled on my channel. Okay, my channel started in 2012, and then for 2 years it took me to be able to monetize. That's before the rules changed. Now the rules are different. I actually don't know when you can monetize. It's very difficult. You have to have basically you have to have like a big enough audience to like where they would want to even monetize you. So that's like the more difficult part for new YouTubers. Luckily, I still think I meet that threshold, so I'm okay. Anyways, you can see in total since 2014, I've made $5,500. Hold on, $5,568.57 in total. Now, right off the bat, that sounds like a lot of money, but when you look at the graph here, which again, if you're listening visually, come check out the if you're listening visually, that doesn't make any sense. If you're just listening, come check out the visual, because it makes a lot more sense to look at the scope of it. So we start here. In July of 2014, I was making like 6 cents. Like this basically, look at this. I think one of them was 0.2 or 0.02. Sorry, that's 2 cents. So for like literally a few years, I wasn't even getting a paycheck, right? Because the threshold to make money on YouTube, the threshold when you're making money on YouTube to actually get paid is $100 minimum. You can up that if you're making a lot of money. You can up that to like $1,000. Then they'll pay you whatever you want to do. But basically, it's once a month, $100 threshold in order to get paid. So you can see I'm going all the way 2018. I'm making barely any money. I'm literally making zero, like less than $1. I think this is per day. Less than $1 per day for, when does it go up? Okay, less than $1 per day for hold on, that's more than that. For 6 years. From 2014 to 2020, start of 2020, I was making less than $1 a day. And I think that my pay might have been, let's do this manually. So when I first started was in, let's go 2014. Let's put in, I'm just doing this manually just to get a little bit of a preference. Let's go July 1st, 2014 to, so we're July 2021. I don't know when I want to go till. Okay, to January 5th, 2020. All right. Let's just go, yeah, January 1st, 2020. Apply. So when you put this on, you can see that over 6 years, from July 1st, 2014 to January 1st, 2020, I made a little over $1,000. My, what does this even mean? RPM, revenue per mile? I don't even know what this stuff is. $1.33, and my playback-based CPM was $6.91. I don't know what is a good number. I don't know any of that stuff, so let me know if that's good or if that's bad. But I'm guessing it's bad because I made $1,000 in 6 years. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It took me 6 years since once I monetized my YouTube channel to make a little over $1,000. So that is cool because that's money just off of ad revenue. That's money off of making videos, which I was doing anyways. So that's when that's really, really good. But the one that sucks is when you think that $1,000 over 6 years is like not that much money. That's maybe a couple $100 per year. Okay? So per year, only a couple $100, which really does not sustain you at all. It does, you barely would even see that. So like on the one hand, it's very cool, like I said, but on the other hand, it's like that doesn't really do anything. Like that doesn't really supplement your income. That's like a couple of paychecks if we're working a part-time job. You know what I mean? That's like a couple of months work, but over 6 years. So that's a lot. Now we're going to go back to lifetime. But then from this area right here, again, sorry if you're listening like on audio, I can't really explain where this is more than I can visually. It's really easy visually. So from January, the beginning of 2021, all the way until now, it exploded. And that's because, I guess, during quarantine, everybody was learning how to skateboard. So you can see right here, how to ollie for beginners is by far my most viewed video. It has just about 1 million views, and I made $4,000 off it. So $4,000 for 1 million views. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. You can see that my RPM now went up to $2.77 in total for a lifetime, and my CPM is $6.68. Again, let me know what that even means. I don't understand that stuff. I will if somebody explains it, but I don't care to do it myself, even though I know it's probably important. So right here, over the course of 2020, is where I made my most money, okay? So I made like 4,000, you can just do the math, I don't know, 4,000 whatever dollars in the past year. So I went from 6 years to make 1,000 to 1 year to make 4,000, which is a pretty big increase. But again, when you think about it, $4,000 in an entire year is not that much money. So that is crazy because I was making, like, I think actually I might be able to look at my monthly estimated revenue and it might actually show. Yeah, okay. So you can see that in August, I made $400. August of last year. Let me clarify. August, exactly about a year ago. I made $400 from YouTube in 1 month. And then September of 2020 was my best year. That's where I made almost $500. I made $493 off of YouTube ad revenue. And then since then, it's been like in a steady decline. But still for a couple of months starting in 2021, so January, just a few months ago. Holy, that's actually a long ways away. That was, or a long time ago. That was 6-7 months ago. Okay, almost 8 months ago. Wow. Time flies. I was still making a little over $100 every month, which is good because that's when you meet the threshold so you can get paid. But then in July, which I just got paid now, I don't know how I got paid it because I didn't make $100, but I'm making less than $100 now on YouTube, which kind of sucks because when you make so much, which isn't even a lot like per month, but it's enough where if I was consistently making $300 to $400 a month, that's really good supplemental income for just making YouTube videos, which I do already, right? But even when it gets down to $100 a month, that doesn't really help you out that much. Again, it's nice, but it doesn't really mean that much in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? It's not being selfish, it's just being realistic. Realistically, if you're doing your job all the time. Like the amount of effort that goes into videos, the amount of time that takes to think of ideas, to film, to edit, to upload, and to do that consistently, it's not that much money, especially if you were to do like a part-time job, let's just say, and you'd be getting paid, you know, $500 an entire month for doing X amount of hours of work. It doesn't really add up, but it's because I like doing it. So that's the part where like I'm going to get into now in a second, is actually the passion and stuff behind it, because I've talked about my passion for esports, passion for all of this stuff, but there's also that passion there for creating content and whatnot, but then also like the downside to it, because I could definitely have made a lot more money, but the problem is that I'm just not consistent with it. So let's talk about that first. So when I first started YouTube, I was making just animal videos. So I was super motivated to do it. Granted, there wasn't a lot of views. I wasn't making any money. It's just because animals are a big part of my life, you know, so I'd probably film almost every single day. That's what I wanted to do. Even prior to that, because I didn't start YouTube in 2012. I started YouTube 2 years before that, in 2010, when I was making like videos with my buddy and stuff, and we would make videos every single day. We'd do skits, we did reaction videos, we would do scooter videos, we did so much stuff. I don't think we didn't make any money off that channel actually, but basically like, I was so motivated when I was like little, like when I was in junior high, and I was, I don't even know, 12, 13, so motivated just to make videos, to grind, to do it. And then when things just in your personal life even like just start shifting, and like you start finding different interests and stuff, and like you don't know what to film anymore, you just get inconsistent. So that's literally it. And that's where I sometimes get down on myself a little bit, because I remember when I first started my degree in 2016, probably more so 2017, let's say, when I kind of got into communications and stuff and my broadcasting degree, I was like, you know what, I have 4 years right now where I can like grind on YouTube and build up an audience and everything as much as I can, and if that is enough, then maybe I can take it full time once I graduate, okay? But I said that to myself, and then I didn't upload for 2 years. So I really shot myself in the foot with that one, because then you just lose motivation, because it was annoying too, because I was at a point where like every time I'd upload, my videos would get a couple hundred views, and that's good. That took me years to build up, and then I stopped uploading. I just stopped. And the reason is because my main channel was just convoluted, because like I said, I had animal videos on there, then I had like different types of video, like I had so much like variety in it that I just kind of gave up, which was dumb. And then what I did is I would start posting more on VerticalRoostr, which gets no views at all, and then I actually made a second channel called Grab a Jabba, and that's what I focused on for like almost an entire year. That one I built up that one actually pretty decent, but again, I was like, I just stopped posting on it because I just didn't want to keep posting. I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, I just don't want to keep posting on this one. Like, I want to post on my other channel, Jordan Brenda, like just my main channel that I've always had since I was young and whatnot. So I came back after 2 years, then, you know, you upload a couple of videos and they don't get any views, because people aren't going to sit around for 2 years waiting for the big comeback of you to come and make some more videos. You know what I mean? Like, people don't care that much. I could look through my subscription list, and if there's somebody who hasn't posted in a few months, I'll just unsubscribe. So I'm like, I don't really care at this point. And that's just the reality of it. But you have that little hopefulness in you that, hey, maybe these people will come back. And I guess here's the thing where it's annoying. So I stopped posting for a couple of years until 2020. So I stopped in 2018, and I didn't start posting on my YouTube channel until 2020. All right? That's because I started seeing that I was making more money, because my one video, the Ollie video, was getting a lot of traction, and I started making a bit of money. So I'm like, you know, this is a good time to start trying to make videos again. I'll be on the up, right? Again, through these 2 years, I was making YouTube videos, just not on that main channel where I was actually making money, which was a stupid decision. I look back now and I'm like, why was I trying to create new channels when I should have just focused on the channel that was actually making money? Because the other ones weren't monetized, nothing like that. So it's like the one I should have focused on was the one where I was getting money. Not because money is the motivation, but because money means you can do it more often. It means that it can actually supplement your income. It means that you can keep doing it, and you can upgrade equipment, and you can do all of that stuff to make the videos even better. Okay? So that's what I should have done in hindsight. That's what I really, really should have done, is instead of making these separate channels and focusing all of my time on those while not posting at all on the main channel, is I should have just kept posting on the main channel the videos that I was posting on the other channels. Maybe I could have had the other ones as second channels, but I really should have focused on my main channel where I was actually making some money. Now, what happened in 2020, obviously the pandemic, but I don't know. I would post for a little bit. I'd be consistent at it, you know, like a video a week. and then I would just stop posting for months, and then I'd come back, post for a couple of months every single week, and then stop for another few months. And again, that just really doesn't allow me to build an audience, which sucks. And the worst part is that I'm in like the downfall, not the downfall, but you know what I mean? When you look at a chart, you go up and then you go down. So I'm in the down part right now, not just for money, but also for views, subscribers, everything, right? Because you can't consistently be going up when you're not creating any new content or anything, especially when it's like one video. You're relying on that one video, and that's not a good thing to do because that video is not going to keep blowing up forever. It's going to eventually, simmer down. And so, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so the worst part that is like really makes you lose motivation, but then also kind of like makes me try to gain motivation to keep going, is that when I came back from my 6-month hiatus, whatever it was, I stopped posting in January of this year of 2021, and I didn't start posting again until just a few months ago. Actually, it's less than that. It was like a month ago. I've been getting no views on this channel. And that's where it really sucks, because when you go from uploading something, you might get, 100 to 500 views per video, to when I upload now and I get less than 10 views, but I have almost 8,000 subscribers. It's just, it really hits you in the soft spot where you're like, oh no, why did I stop posting? You know what I mean? And I don't want to be getting here and being like, oh, cry me a river, whatever. You know what I mean? It was my fault because I wasn't posting. It just sucks because I kept coming back and I'd get a decent amount of views. And then for some reason, the time that I just stopped this year and then came back and started posting now, it's been worse than ever. This is like when I first started my channel. I don't want to sit here and complain the whole time, but it's just the reality of it. The amount of views that I get now is literally the amount of views I'd get when I first started my channel in 2012. So we think about that. That's almost 10 years. I'm getting the same amount of views now as I did 10 years ago before I built anything up. I have almost 8,000 subscribers now. I have 2 million total channel views. I've made $5,000, and when I post, it gets 10 views. So that's when it really, really sucks, but I'm going to try to keep going, try to keep building, and try to maybe work on the algorithm a bit more. Also utilize VerticalRoostr as a good second channel to hopefully build that one up, to try to get views over to that channel, to do maybe more reaction videos, stuff like that. And who knows, maybe I'll make a third channel down the line that really just is easier videos to edit, to make, but it's just really focusing on the algorithm. And then we'll see how it goes. I'm sure that I will do something to kind of make it work, because I like doing this stuff. I mean, clearly, I've been doing it since 2010. I really like doing YouTube videos and whatnot. It's just so much of the time I just lack motivation for things to film, because I've done all of it. I've done reaction videos. I've done like the skit videos. I've done videos with animals. I used to do videos with drumming. I've done videos with sit down and talking. You know what I mean? So that's where it's like the podcast is kind of nice, because it's a whole podcast where we sit down, we chat. You guys can just watch, you can just listen, you can just enjoy. There's a bit of visual components, but we're just sitting here and talking in a podcast format. You can listen online, just using audio. You can watch the YouTube videos, you can watch the clips. So that's where it also creates more content doing this podcast, because I can make clips from it to post on my second channel. So then the main channel here stays a bit more clean and a bit more concise, but you can still go see the other videos. So hopefully those other videos start to gain a bit of traction, because I personally like VerticalRoostr a lot, because I post gaming videos. I'm going to start posting reaction videos. I'm going to start posting like challenge videos just on my computer, because those are the types of videos I want to make on it. Sort of like the gaming style videos, like KSI does, like PewDiePie does. Not just gaming, but other things that kind of relate to that. And also the clips from the podcast. So hopefully that channel kind of builds up a little bit, because if you're making just a couple $100 a month, but on 2 different channels, then you combine that and you're making a decent amount of money. And now I know I keep talking about money, and y'all are probably sitting here thinking, look at this selfish little guy who just wants to make money, and he's mad and he's sad because his YouTube videos aren't doing as well as they used to. He used to be making a few $100s per month. He used to be getting a couple hundred views per video, and now he's making next to nothing. He's getting barely any views. But that's not true. It's because I do like doing it. Yes, I like to complain, but that's why I like this podcast, because it's a way that I can just vent and I can explain to you guys the reasoning behind it, but also the motivation. And I want to talk about that, because I was only on the first part of my list, but I won't go into all the other ones, because I think that I kind of meshed. I don't know. I put some of these points together by accident. I was going to go in order, but I kind of put them in. One thing I do want to say is that when you are making money on YouTube, the most memorable times that you're making money is when you first start getting that 10 cents, that 2 cents, because you're like, holy crap. If I just keep doing this, that 2 cents will turn to 10 cents. That 10 cents will turn to 20 cents, turn to $1, turn to $2. You know what I mean? It's very, very cool to see what you were doing for free start making money, even if it's a little bit. Okay, so I don't want to take that for granted. I don't want to seem like I'm complaining, but when I was first monetized in 2014, I thought that was the coolest thing ever, because for 2 years, well, before that even, let's say 4 years, since 2010, I was making YouTube videos making no money, and then finally I was able to monetize, and I was making 10 cents off a video. I was like, that is insane. So that was really, really cool. And obviously the other part to that is the most memorable times are when you're making a lot of money. Now, the money that I've made is very, very, very small compared to the money that, you know, bigger YouTube videos bigger YouTube creators make. Some of these people can make a few $1,000s a month. They can make upwards of, you know, $20,000. It doesn't really matter. As long as your videos are getting a lot of views and they're ad friendly, you'll make videos that have more money coming in. Granted, a couple of years ago, you could make a lot more money off of AdSense, because now they've, like, because of what a lot of big YouTubers have done, which is kind of annoying, but also, I mean, it makes sense. YouTube's a huge business. They've really made it a lot harder to monetize, and you have to be very ad friendly and everything like that. Even sometimes when you say certain words, which I don't even know what these words are, but like certain words that like relate to things that could be controversial or anything, you can get demonetized, or they just won't push your video. So the algorithm will pick it up because it knows what you're saying in the videos. The YouTube just knows, like, they transcribe it. So if you say any of these like words that they don't want to push, then they won't. And what I need to figure out is the words that they do want you to say, and then I'll start saying those words and see if I grow a YouTube channel a little bit. There you go. There's my new idea. I'm going to search up what words to say, how to utilize or optimize the algorithm, and then just make videos surrounding that on a new channel and see if it works. Or do it on VerticalRoostr. I'll see. I don't know yet. I'm going to try that, though. That might be kind of fun. So yeah, that's also the most memorable. When I made $500 last year in September, I was like, oh my goodness. That was more money that I made in a month than I was making when I used to work at the radio station, right? Those paychecks every what was it, bi-weekly? Bi-monthly? No, bi-weekly. Yeah, bi-monthly is like once every 2 months. Bi-weekly, I was making like $300, usually less. It was usually $100 to $300 on a paycheck. So every month I was making around $500. So when I was making that from YouTube, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't need to get a part-time job anymore. I can just do YouTube. And then I stopped filming videos. Like, dude, it's so annoying. It's not even like looking back a few years to like, oh, I should have kept going like 5 years ago. Like, yes, obviously, but it's also even just more recent in the past year, in the past 6 months, where it's like, dude, you had this opportunity where you were making enough money that you didn't need to get another part-time job. What you always wanted to do is just make enough money that you don't need to get a part-time job, and then you stopped filming videos. So if anything, I'm not complaining about people not watching my videos. What I'm complaining the most about is me as a creative, me as a YouTube creator, just stopping, lacking that motivation when I needed it most, and forgetting and not being thankful enough and grateful enough. Like, yes, I am grateful, but not in the moment to optimize. Is that the what I'm trying to say is when that moment comes up where there's the opportunity to optimize content, and it's like right sitting there right in front of you, you're making a decent amount of money now, put more effort into this. I didn't. So that's where I'm angry mostly at myself, because I had the opportunity come up and I didn't optimize it, or I didn't, dude, that is not the right word, and I can't think of the right word. I didn't jump on the opportunity. Whatever. I don't need to keep saying that 100 times so I get the wording right. But I had the choice to do it, and I just didn't see it at the time. And I just lacked motivation. Granted, I was also in school and all this stuff, but those are just excuses I make up, because I would have been working part-time anyways. Even though I couldn't find a job, I was not getting any hours in my other job because of, you know, the illness. But anyways, okay. Now what I want to say quickly is, from all these creative things, money is part of the motivation quite clearly. Okay, I'm not doing this just to make money. It's not like, okay, if I upload this video, I'll make $10. But if I do it the certain way, I can make $25. Or if I make it exactly 10 minutes, I can put 4 ads in. Like, I'm not thinking about it that much. I know some people do, and that's not bad, especially like finance YouTubers and stuff. Like, some of them think like that, which is okay. I mean, if their audience watches the videos and that's their motivation to do it just to make money, then sure. I'm just saying, for me, it's not, my main motivation is not to make money, but supplemental income is where it would be ideal. And the reason I keep bringing up that $500 a month is because pretty soon I might be getting a job opportunity where I might have to move like pretty far away into an expensive place to live. So if I was making just $500 a month, that would mean that I could live quite comfortably, because that's supplemental income from doing YouTube, which I already have done for years in my spare time. That would help pay for rent or pay for groceries or gas. things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like I'd get my main salary from my job, right? And that's what I would do full time. But then part time, I'm also getting, a bit of diverse income, a bit of supplemental income, which helps pay for things so I can live a bit more comfortably and so I can continue to make those videos because they're also benefiting me, right? So ideally, I want to get back to that spot where I'm making a couple $100, per month that can help just pay for things, because that would really, really help. And then that means I can put more effort into the YouTube stuff because it's helping me pay for things. And obviously, that is like the main point about doing any job, whether it's, creative or whether it's whatever is like, if you like it so much and it's a passion, that's great. But you also, if you're getting paid for it, that really helps because it can help you continue going and continue creating and continue giving you more opportunities. Obviously, I'll still do this stuff even if I make no money because it's just what I do. It's all I've known ever since I was little. I like to do it, but if it can help me make a bit of money, that is amazing. That is fantastic, because why would you not want that? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be crazy to think, I'm not going to do it at all for the money. I'm like, if you can make a bit of money off that, why would you say no? Unless you're some higher being and you think, oh, I'm creative, money is the whatever, I'm going to do this for free and struggle and stuff. I'm like, okay, if you want to, but I'm not going to. You gotta be kidding me. I respect that, sure, I guess, if that's your creative vision and you think that being an artist means you're going to make no money. I'm like, okay, but for me, I want to make a little bit of ka-ching on this, you know what I mean? A little bit of cash. So I'm not going to do that, but whatever. You do what you want to do. I hear some people say that sometimes. They're like, I'm not doing this for money at all. Like, if this, I'm like, well, it's easy for you to say because you're making money off of it. You know what I mean? Let me just say that for a second. Sometimes I will listen to podcasts or I'll see people on YouTube. It's a very common thing that they do. This is anybody who are very successful on YouTube. And they're like, you know what? I'm not doing this for the money. If I was making no money at all, I would still be doing this, which I myself am saying as well. But listen, they are in a position where they are making a lot of money off of what they are doing. So it is very easy for them to say, guys, this is authentic. I'm not doing this for the views. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for you and me because I like it. You guys like it. That's what I'm doing it for. I believe them, partly. But it's also very easy for them to say, so they come off as more authentic because they're making bank. You know what I mean? Guys, I do this just because I love doing it. If I was making no money, I would still do this. But I gotta hop on my Tesla real quick, and I'm traveling for the next 2 weeks doing all this stuff. But, if I wasn't making any money, I'd still be doing that. It's like, I know you probably would, but you're saying that while you're already found success. So it's easy for you to say that because you're not living that reality of not making the money. Granted, a lot of them, I say granted a lot, that's the word of the day for this podcast. A lot of them went through struggles and whatnot. And if, I'm going through some struggles and I'm still am posting. So, I mean, it is true. It's just funny when they say that stuff because it's like, well, yeah, obviously, but it's also like, you can say, don't do it because of money, but you're making money. So it's very easy for you to say because you don't need to have another job. You're focusing on this full time. You have good equipment. You're traveling all the time. You have connections that you've made in the industry. You're fine. It's okay. You're doing great. Obviously, you would do it if you, like, I don't know. It's just a funny thing that people say that I myself will say sometimes, but it's more meaningful coming from me because I'm not making enough money. You guys literally saw over that's longer. Over 8 years. Dude, I can't do math. 2014 till now, whatever. I made $6,000 total. Some people make that per video. You know what I mean? Like 6 years of work. That's not even close to minimum wage. If I was living off of that, I would be broke beyond belief. I'd be in debt by so much right now on credit cards and stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I say I'm not doing it for the money, you can believe me because you've literally seen my numbers. I have not made that much money. It's a lot of money to think about. It's very cool, and I do not take that for granted. I'm very appreciative, but it's not that much money where I'm like living off that and balling. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. And I think other than that, actually, I kind of covered everything I was going to talk about. Basically, for me, right now, I need to try to... This is a message to me. This is a message to myself. For all of you out there who are struggling or who are creatives or who are content creators or whatever the case is, whatever you're doing and you're not seeing immediate success, be consistent. Keep going. Things will happen. It happened for me a little bit. Then I wasn't consistent. Then I stopped posting completely. Now I have to try to build that back up. So for me, please be consistent. Make some good YouTube videos. Maybe doing a little experiment, trying to, optimize for the algorithm on the second channel or whatever. Do big clickbait stuff. Whatever the case is, just to get the views up a little bit. Try it out. Give it a go. There's nothing you're going to lose because right now, you're already not making that much or doing that much, so it doesn't really matter. That's my message for me. For you, it might be a little bit different. For those of you who are watching, those of you listening, for me, that's what I gotta do. And I will hopefully do it, and hopefully I will stay a bit more consistent. This podcast has been a really great way to do it. And it literally, listen, if I would have been filming this podcast from the very beginning, and like I do, hold on, I'm grabbing my camera. I do have a camera. Look at this. I do have a microphone. I have other microphones. I actually have like a whole entire recorder. Like, not that you play at school. I have like an actual, I don't have it on me. I don't have it here, but I have like an actual like audio recorder. Like, it was like a few $100 I got when I first started my degree. Like, that can use microphones and whatnot, and then you can put that onto Audition or whatever software you use to upload the footage. What I'm trying to say is, if I would have done all that stuff when I first started this podcast up again, like 13 episodes ago, I'd probably have a lot more views and stuff because it would be more consistent, you know, whereas now this is only a third episode that's on YouTube, and the only third episode that clips are being uploaded to a second channel. So it's like, it's just the beginning, so I sometimes lose sight of that because I'm like, but I've been doing 14 episodes, but I've only really done like the visuals for a few of them, and the visuals on this, I'll be honest, are not very good. I'm sitting in front of my webcam, right? But it's just because, well, the file footage would be really, really big for some of those, and I actually don't know if my software can handle that because it crashes a lot. But also just because I don't have a good location. I've said this before, but I think once I move into a new place, I'm going to try to set up a bit of a studio spot where I will record in a nicer format. So that way when you see the clips and stuff, I'll actually have a microphone. It'll sound better. It'll look better. Everything will be good. But I'm just starting now by doing the podcast with a webcam. It's on video, taking clips. Things are starting. Keep doing it. This is motivation for me. We're going to get there. We're going to keep going. Keep pursuing it. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that I ranted so much, and hopefully some of this was actually beneficial for you guys. Maybe some of you are on the same boat. Maybe some of you want to get into YouTube and you're like, how much money can I make? You can make more than me. Just look at what I've made, and it's not that much. The passion's still there. Making money is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the sole motivation for any of these. Not just gaming, esports. I'm talking creative stuff too. Okay, that is all. I will see you guys on the next episode. Might have a guest, might not. I usually forget to try to find a guest until the week of, and then I go, oh crap, I don't know if I can find somebody in a day. So I might start now. Try to be proactive versus reactive. That's your message of the day. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.